everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I would like to welcome you to Connie's Craft Along. It is, it's where we go on a crafting adventure together, and usually I send out stuff to cut and prep on Tuesday. That's the goal. Wednesday at the latest. Sadly, some weeks it's not until Thursday morning. So hopefully you saw my email, and hopefully you were able to prep. There wasn't a lot of prep for this one. We're going to do a lot of it while we're together tonight. But if you didn't prep, you can still watch along and see what I'm doing and hopefully get inspired. And maybe you'll use that for your crafting next time you're in your craft space, or maybe later tonight even. So if you are here and joining me, do say hello. Let me know that you are watching and you have joined me. I meant to put this up on Facebook too. It's been kind of crazy. I just came back to the cottage on Tuesday, and we had a neighbor from out the back was staying with us, and then just sort of getting back into the groove at the cottage. And okay, I don't have any really good excuse, reason necessarily, other than it just hasn't come together this week. So anyway, here we are. Do say hello. Okay. And oh, Kathleen, hello, you found me. Yes, you found me. I found me. I think I'm here. Let me flip this down and we can do some crafting. Okay, so as I said, there was not a whole lot to prepare for the card tonight. Sorry, this is me wiggling things. I apologize. There we go. I think we're everywhere that we need to be now. So there are some scraps for die cutting, or you could do DSP cutouts or some sort of interest element. But anyway, I have some scraps. I need to stamp them, and then we will die cut them. So we will get to that as we go through. But here's where we are. You need everybody's sticking to everybody. Card base, 8.5. Okay, I need to remember to hold this down. My arms just sort of extend, and then I go out of camera range. Card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So that's just a totally regular card base. You need a piece of designer series paper that is 5.5 by 2 3/4. You need those scraps of basic white paper to stamp on, color on, die cut, whatever you decide you want to do. Or you could just punch an interesting shape if you wish. Anything at all, just something that we will add to the card. You need a basic white strip for your sentiment. Mine is 1 inch wide. It can be 1 inch, could be 3/4, could be a half, depends on what sentiment you're thinking of using. And then, of course, the usuals, your stamps, ink, adhesive, and of course, embellishments. All right, so those are the ingredients. And let me just set this aside. I did get a microphone for doing this sort of thing. I can't figure out how to make it work. I'm probably missing something very simple, but I played with it just a little bit, and then I kind of gave up, and I was going to get my husband to look at it, but I forgot to bring it up to the cottage. So of course he can't look at it and help me with it. So I'm still just on my laptop microphone. So hopefully the sound is not too terrible. I am using the Stargazing 12 by 12 designer series paper. So it's all sorts of stargazing things. Don't ask me what they are. I am not an expert. However, I do know that I'm going to say that this is the Milky Way, because this kind of looks like what we see at my cottage. The streak of the light. And so I'm going to say that's the Milky Way. I don't know that it is. But what I do know is that when they created this paper, the designer went online, I guess, and although a lot of it's just computer generated, but they got real pictures of constellations, so that, you know, this, for example, there would be brighter stars in these places and lesser stars around it. I don't know where it is in the sky, and it would depend on the time of year and 8 million other factors, but they are real. So they did that, and then the backs have some more muted patterns and just some little stars with some shading and stuff. And then there are some pieces with planets. And there is a stamp and die set that coordinates with this paper. There's some other planets. I did not purchase it. It's not so much my thing. I'm sure you could make wonderful cards with it, but I didn't purchase it. But I did want to get the paper because I thought the paper looked really cool. And so we're going to play with it tonight. And that's what this is. This is part of the one with the stars that I showed you. So, and then it's got planets on the back. I have no idea what these are all planets, right? But I know the stars, they did say were real. Okay, so card base. This is the mountain. You're going to fold the mountain together because that's how the fibers naturally break when you score it. Okay. And this is blueberry bushel, which is one of the colors in the package, and it's just, you can see it, little bits of it on here. And then what we're going to do is put this across our card base on an angle, and that's why we needed it long. We will trim it to fit, but it has to be longer than the 4 1/4 of a card, or it won't fit. Okay. Now, as far as where we're going to put it, I am going to stamp my sentiment on this. I may put this right across, so we'll probably do something along these lines. And then we will cut out some elements and put them here. It's kind of a thought, but I'm going to go fairly low, I think, on this. I don't want it right at the bottom. And you can make it any angle you want. Just make sure your designer series paper covers. If you want it a greater angle, you would need a longer piece. But I just wanted it on an angle. So I am going to put, and I don't know exactly where this is going to hit, so I am going to put some liquid glue pretty much everywhere so that I know that wherever it is, it hits. Now, of course, when I do that, I am going to end up with glue all over the place. So we will just put the silicone mat down. Put that right about there. Now, I'm not going to push past the edge of the card base so that hopefully there's not too much glue that goes all over the place, but you can see that there is certainly some glue that got onto that. And then the other thing is that when you trim this, you will get glue on your scissors if you can find your scissors. Okay. I don't know where my paper snips are. I know I had them out recently. Don't see them right now, so I'm going to get glue on my big scissors. Doesn't much matter. And then you want to be careful that you put this somewhere safe right away so that you don't put glue all over your table or somewhere else that you've just worked so hard to avoid putting it. There we go. And then you just want to keep your scissors a little white afterwards. I really don't know where my paper snips are. I'm going to set this to the side so that I don't put something on it. And so there is our card base. Okay. And even though this is stargazing and stars and everything, I am going to bring in the textured floral stamps. And I thought we would use those just for fun. I have not mounted these, as you can clearly see, for no particular reason. Okay, so there is the large flower. I'm also going to die cut them after I stamp them. So I don't know what all we'll want, but probably few flowers, a couple of these different sizes. I do believe this is this flower. I'm going to pretend that it is. We'll mount it, we'll stamp it, and hopefully the die will cut it out later. Go. So that's 3 different flowers, and then what I might do is just cut some of this, just to perhaps go up the edge a little bit or something, but we'll see as we go. So bringing in my cardstock, and I also neglected to really plan my color scheme, but we will go with this is sweet sorbet, so we're going to do blue and red, maybe a little bit of maybe sweet sorbet and bubble bath for sweet sorbet. And I don't think Melon Mom will go. I think that's going to be too wild. But we could do Highland Feather. Do those 3. That might work nicely. Okay, how about that? And maybe we'll make it a little more purple. Less so. Ink spots. When I use an ink spot, I tend to, why is there a line? Because there's something there. Okay, I don't know whether that was on the stamp or on the ink spot, but something weird on there. Anyway, I tend not to do it this way, the way you would with a large ink pad, because it picks it up for one. It sort of sticks together, and it just seems easier to control going the other direction. So this looks like there's something on my stamp. I don't know what, but we got a bit of a funky stamp going on there, which is not necessarily bad. I do kind of like that, but I don't think that's quite what it's supposed to look like. So we'll just see if something on the stamp, something about the ink. I'm not sure. I just did these ink spots before I came on, so I suppose I could have messed up. Wouldn't put it past me. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit textured as well. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to put the lid on this for a moment, and we're going to move on to one of the other stamps and see what it does. Try the sweet sorbet. Yeah, this one looks neat as well. I wonder if it's because it's an ink spot. Because it's, well, it shouldn't be photopolymer. Works with the big ink pads, but look, that one's weird as well. This is odd. So the next thing we're going to do is move on to something that I was thinking I would do for the next card. And we'll see what happens with that. in just a moment. Just as in, oh look, found my scissors. Apparently they were hiding under my scrap paper stamping off on. You do that when you stamp. Once you've stamped your image, you should always stamp off on a piece of scrap paper just to get as much ink off of your stamp as you can. It will keep your chamois a little cleaner, or your stamp and scrub, and you can of course clean all of these things, but it just means you don't have to clean it quite as often. So, hey, I was going to do a second part, and that's still the plan. I don't know that I was going to necessarily use these colors, but I might just to see what we can see. Might be about the right size for what I want when I get there. See if it inks up funny on the red rubber. This is maybe not as good a test because this is just a line image, but let's see what we get with this, and we'll go from there. It looks okay. Isn't that interesting? I don't know what's up with these stamps. Somewhat odd. See if this one's the same. I did use the big one I stamped on vellum, but that was just stamping on vellum. I didn't do anything weird. I don't know what's going on. Which stamp set am I using? Sorry, Kathleen, you probably asked that hours ago and I'm not paying attention. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that odd? I don't know what the deal is. So I am using textured floral. This is textured floral. These flowers that are stamping kind of funny. And I've used them before. I just used them on the weekend. I've used them all over the place. We used them at the online retreat. I'm not sure what's up. But that's what those flowers are. And then this guy is the Dainty Delight. That's what those are. Okay, so where do we go next? This is different. I am puzzled. I don't think it's the cardstock. Shouldn't be the cardstock. What would be wrong with the cardstock, or what would be on the cardstock that would make them do that? And it's different pieces as well, so that doesn't make any kind of sense. And I used, maybe I haven't used the bubble bath. I was going to say I used the bubble bath the other day, but that was a stamp and blend. So I'm not, now this one is a little bit, does have different shading, but this should be more solid, and so should this one. Okay, we're going to give these one more chance, one more go. Let's see what we get. And then we're just gonna, yeah, it's like there's oil or something on it. Maybe I'll, whoopsie. I will try cleaning it with the stamping mist in my stamping. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to completely wiggle jiggle you. See if I can raise my stamping mist. And finger. Oh. See if that makes the difference. Nope, it does not. Oh, well, it is better though. I think it's almost like there's some sort of oil or something. Stamp. I have no idea how that would have happened. I don't know where these have been, but that's a much better image. So, okay, well, perhaps a clue, and maybe I just need to rough these up a little bit. It's a relatively new stamp set. I haven't used it a whole lot. I can't honestly say that I have used these two smaller stamps. I have used the larger stamp. I have stamped with it. But then again, no, I have stamped on paper. I was going to say that was on vellum, which could have reacted differently. But I have stamped on paper with this large flower as well. So I do not have an explanation, but this guy's good. And there was a lot of ink on there. We'll just use some new paper. Give this guy a bite. You can tell I've used this. Look, it's stained. Sake. Yeah, it still looks like it's going on funny. Perhaps better, but still a little funny. But let's see what we get here. Yeah, it's a little odd. Sort of, to say the least. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll do this all with smaller. And no, I want the bigger flower. I want the bigger flower, darn it. I should have maybe cleaned it again to try and rough it up. Okay, I'm going to go with a textured flower for that guy. And try this little guy. This ink spot doesn't look like I inked it. I'm not sure. It's very light ink, so it's a little bit hard to tell, but definitely shading on this one. I don't know that I care for it as much, but we'll do a couple of these. And maybe I'll do one more of the sweet sorbet, and I'm sure that will be more than enough flowers for this card. It's only one card, for Pete's sake. How many flowers do we need? You probably don't want to sit here and watch me die cut all of those things anyway, do you? Okay. Speaking of die cutting, out some dies, move some ink out of the way, make the card. This is the stuff we're going to cut. And ta-da! Mini cut. Oh, sorry, that's me. I'm sitting in a different spot, clearly hitting the table. Mini cut and emboss machine. Love it, love it, love it. This one is boho blue. It is still available if you would like to get yourself one of these. Very handy for traveling if you're camping or even at home if you just don't have a whole lot of space. It doesn't do absolutely everything, but it does do an awful lot. It will only take the half size embossing folders, but it will take almost all of the dies that we have. Not all, but almost. So It's a great little machine, and it's a beautiful color. Okay, there we go. And if you have seen me before, you've possibly heard me say when you're using it, just stagger your plates because the rollers are not as large and heavy duty as with the big cut and emboss machine. If you stagger the plates, it just helps it feed in a little bit easier. So, okay. So there we have 3 flowers. I don't know how many we will need. We might cut a little bit more. I do want to cut a little bit of greenery. So I'm going to bring in, this is lemon lime twist. And I'm just going to cut these stems, and this is just, I'll use that for a flower center. Just run that through, and then we'll see, that might be enough. I do have more here that I can cut, but with any luck, this is all we will need. I'm going to set that to the side for a minute, and we will see if we need more flowers. Oh, I did not stamp my sentiment. Where did my sentiment stamp go? So this is Biggest Wish, and I was just going to do a little bit of things. Little bit things. Sure, what the heck? I think it'll fit on 1 inch. It should fit on just fine. Okay, so now we've got a blue card and we've not done anything blue. It's just sort of occurring to me that I've gone way off base with my color scheme. Have you noticed? I'm not trying to like that greenery on. I think we might need to break this and do this kind of as little pokey out leaves. I think that's going to look better than one big stem up the side. So I'm just going to trim this off so I don't have anything weird there. Be a leaf on a stem. There we go. And just go down that way a little bit. This should have been blue though, shouldn't it? Other than purple. I think I need to do another flower, and I need to do it in blueberry, and then I need to rearrange. Yes, but that's it. Oh my goodness. Okay, moving to plan B. This is blueberry. I put these on here, and then I thought afterwards I should also write the name, because sometimes it's just a little bit tricky to tell for sure what color things are. But, Kathleen, I don't know if you have noticed or not, but the September to December mini catalog is available online. See, this feels greasy. I can feel it. It feels greasy. So if you are a demonstrator, we can now see the fall mini catalog. And starting on August the 2nd, I believe it is, we will be able to order from the fall catalog. So it is the beginning of the pre-order. So as a demonstrator, we can order in advance. That's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. You get early access to it. So that is going to be available to us next week, but we can see it now and start drooling and planning, figuring out what we want. And I should have pushed because clearly that wasn't the stamp, that was the stamper. There's still ink there. I just didn't push it onto the paper. And I'm not using my foam mat because, well, you know, I put it somewhere safe when I went home. That could make a difference as well, but we'll just give it a bit of sugar. That's the best. It's not too bad. I think I just still it. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna try one more with the foam mat this time and see if that makes a difference. I don't think that would have made a difference before. What we're getting seemed like something different. But here, one more try here. There we go. Okay, it's a little more even where it's supposed to be even, because as I said, these all have texture in them. But I think this will probably go with the red and the pink. But I think it might tie things in a little bit better. And then we should probably do this in the blueberry as well. We will do this in the blueberry as well. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do with sizing for this, but I'm going to put this near the right edge and then can go across right. Oh, that's a nice image. So that's really not the ink spot on full color. So could be the operator. Just saying. Okay, I am going to cut this here because I think I want to cut out this other sweet sorbet flower that we have as well. This will allow me to easily get them both onto here. We're done. Which way does it go? So these are actually quite easy to line up. Some of them you have to really look at all the details and find one little point that you know match up. These are not too bad. So down there. Oh, look, we're going through backwards. Maybe. Oh my goodness. You can, oh. We still need to turn it the same direction. We just need to use our left hand. Okay. See, this is why I say join me on my crafting adventure, because it's always an adventure. Or very often. Never know where the path will lead. Okay, and look, I'm just destroying this area. Oh, forgot about the angle. But we're okay. It just goes on. Okay, I think I'll put this right across. So what I need is glue right to this top corner. Bring this silicone mat back in just in case we go over the edges, which I will. To just go right across that whole thing since I'm not sure where it will hit. I want to go about this far. I'm just putting this right up against, oops, here, and going out to the edge. The S will still fit and show, and then just trim. This time, I have my paper strips. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to snip this bit off of here right now before it gets stuck somewhere that I don't want it to get stuck. And let's see what we want to do with this. I'm gonna want this guy. Excuse me, the top. Don't know what necessarily think we want 4 flowers. Okay, it shouldn't be that difficult to pick this up. There we go. Why are these on there? And then we can tuck this under like that. That. And then, oops. I did do this for this guy. Not certain. I'm not certain we want that in there. So, okay. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this, the big one down flat. You realize I'm just making this all up as I go along, right? I'm sure that's not a surprise. And although there's not a lot of pieces, if you are doing stamping and die cutting and things, it can take you a little bit of time to put it together. Not as long as I have taken, because I was messing up with the stamping. But you know, anytime you're stamping and die cutting and all those things, it does take a little bit of time, but that's okay. That's the fun part. What else would we be doing right now? Whoops. If you haven't heard, I have registration for the Girls Getaway weekend in November is now open. It's going to be an awesome weekend. So there is a flyer out about that, and information is available. So if you haven't seen it and you are interested in learning more about it, just let me know. I'll make sure you have all the information you need. There is there's accommodations, meals, crafting time, make and takes, goodie bags, prizes, social, all like the list goes on. There's just so many things that this weekend offers, and it is just amazing. So everybody should come because it's a ton of fun. There is an early bird bonus right now if you register before, I forget what date in August, but if you register in the next couple weeks, you will get my early bird bonus, which is an extra goodie package with over $25 in value. extra goodies to play with on the weekend. So look, it's a card. That was interesting. But you know what? The second one that I was going to do, and look, I possibly could because I have half the stuff ready to go. This is fresh freesia. It's not bubble bath. I may have to stamp another flower, but the Highland Heather and the sweet sorbet go with it. And then I thought this was kind of greenery like, but I could cut one more piece. I was going to use this Dainty Delight flower and do a little coloring, but that would just be, I think, way too time consuming. So I'm going to set this up here. We're going to put some gems on all of it at the end, and I'm just going to try and make this card since the other one was a little bit of a mess up. We'll just go through this one in a little bit more straightforward format. Don't know. I do have other pieces, but yes, I have lots of segments. We're good. Okay. This is another piece of the same Stargazer paper. There was more purple in this. This is the one that had the constellation that I told you I had no idea what it was. This guy, whatever he is, I cut this off of this sheet, and there's the lemon lime twist on the back. So it's lots of fun, and I thought we could use that to look sort of like a greenery backdrop for the second card. So here we go. I will need to do a little more flower stamping, but I promise it won't be as painful as last time. Promise, I promise. Hopefully I can keep my promise. Careful where you set that. I think I set this card down and just a little bit of sticky there. I will have to get out my adhesive remover. Clean that a little bit. So as much as I was looking for my paper snips before, these big scissors work quite nicely when you're cutting down a whole card length. So we'll just stick with those. Oh, this is almost where it should be. These don't trim as nicely as the paper snips, but we'll just take this down the edge here to clean them. These cut so nicely. Oh my goodness, what a difference when you go right from one to the other. One of those things that you probably don't notice unless you do an absolute side-by-side comparison. At least I never really have, but wow, that was a lot nicer. Okay, fresh freesia. It's here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Yes, fresh freesia. So I have Highland Heather, a sweet sorbet. Do we want? I could do another one of these, or I need some paper. I guess I could just do the little. That's the fresh freesia. And I should probably bring my phone in. So here, this one looks like it's being a little bit weird as well. So I think it's something on the stamps, which is kind of odd. I have no idea what's on the stamps, but whatever it is, it's not making a nice, a really nice image there, is it? Should have cleaned it. I'll try one more, and then we'll clean it if it's not behaving. One more of these, and then I'm going to abandon ship on this until I can get proper feel of that. It's like there's oil. I wonder if it's from the heat or something. It's better, but it's a bit of a funny flower. It's just a funny flower. You want this sauce. That's nice and cool. Except I think I missed the paper. Oh, nope, it's on the paper. Okay, there we go. We're going to use that and maybe a different piece of greenery. Maybe I'll cut this because this one I know you can pull into pieces as well. Oh, but I don't have any. So when you are using the small cut and emboss, you also have a small deck to put your paper. So you need narrower paper. So what's this? Less than 2, 1 3/4. Okay. There we go. That will work. And I'm going to cut this so we can do both of these at the same time. Bring this guy back in, perhaps even put him the right direction this time. Not that it was terrible cranking it with my left hand once I figured out that I needed to crank it in the same direction, but we'll put it. I'll put it right way around. There's that. And going like this. Oops. My fingers are a little damp. It's so very humid up here. And of course, we don't have AC. Bev, hello. Oh, can't you in for the retreat? That's awesome, Bev. Yay. Because, I've had fun with you at the other retreats, but hanging out with you this past weekend, it was great fun. And I would love to hang out with you again. So, okay, a little more wiggling and jiggling. There we go. You. Okay. There. That little guy out. And then we can cut this guy into a couple pieces because I don't think we want him all. Oh, green on green. Okay, so we might have to build him a little bit differently. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to snip through this, and I'm just going to sort of cut random leaf shape here. And random leaf shape here. And there's one stem. And this stem, this is probably going to get buried, but I'm just going to cut this off. There we go. And random leaf shape here. There we go. So there's a couple of sprigs that we can use. We might need to go out the top this time. Whoop, sentiment. Okay. Maybe we'll do thanks again. That worked out. Oh, I'm just going to put it in a little bit further this time. Came close the last time, but it was okay. But let's not take a chance. Let's just move it in a little bit further. This one here straight. Go. Okay. So this time we have a little more play space, but that's okay. I got lucky the last time. Didn't want to test fate twice. Edge here. Whoops, that's not the one I need. This is the one. Put this right about right near the edge. So that will not chopping the S off or anything. But I did need that extra bit of glue. Go. And again, I'm just going to take this little piece off so that it doesn't end up falling somewhere that I don't want it to fall since it's got glue all over it. Okay, lid on the glue for a moment while we sort out what comes next. Now, because I've got lemon lime twist down there, I may want these to go up this time. Something kind of sort of like that. Like that. That's sort of work. Or did these look weird? Maybe these should be together. I'm going to put them sort of together. I can have a whole lot of togetherness. Okay. I'm going to dab a little bit of glue to some of these bits. Put it right up there. Ooh. Glue came out really fast at first. A little more in there than I wanted or needed. Straight this bit. Okay. Put this one right near the T of things. And then we'll just make sure the flour covers it. And it will. And again, I think I'm going to put the large flour down flat and pop the other side. Oh, last bits of dimensional piece here. You can hear my neighbor's campfire. It's still a little bit of an odd sound because we had a fire ban for so long. I'm not used to hearing people having campfires. And I don't know why you'd want a campfire tonight, but apparently they do. They're renting, so campfires are kind of what you do. Plus, he brought a whole trailer full of wood, so I guess he doesn't want to cart it all home. This is the same flour sizing is a little different than on there. It should be that green in between. A little bit more kind of like that. Yes, sure. Okay, now we just need some bling for these guys. What do we want? Those are iridescent rhinestones. They would work on there with the purple, not as much with the blue. Or we could just go silvery, or even copper. These are the adhesive back sparkle gems, and they are very sparkly. They would be kind of neat with the stars that show there. I think I like the silver better. Okay, let's do these for this card for sure. Plunk some of these guys down here. Sure, just a little zing me up. I think I might use these. Oh, this is one of the opals. I don't know how that got onto there. So I only have small ones, but that's okay. We can do these guys. They'll glisten and reflect color down here. Oops. Gosh, I have to get used to this camera. I don't know, for some reason I think it's further up. Okay, there we go. Couple of cards. They ended up being very similar because I took so long with the stamping. I didn't want to take time to color it and all that. But you could do anything here, which is why I said just an interest element. Could be anything. Die cuts, stamps, punches, whatever you wish. Whatever you have. Look, I've got a mess everywhere. Let me come back in here and distract you a little bit, hopefully, or something. I don't know. Okay, look at me. I'm back. So there you go. I'd say quick and easy, but it's been an hour. Anyway, I will endeavor to figure out what is up with those stamps. I'll try some other photopolymers and see if they're all like that, whether it's a heat thing or an ink spot thing or probably an operator thing, but I'm not fessing up to that until I know I have to. So for now, I'm going to blame something else. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I love crafting with you, and I love sharing crafting with you. So I hopefully have inspired you to go try this layout. Really, the thing with it is designer series paper on an angle. It's just a little something different. So give it a try. Do whatever you want after that. Just put your DSP strip on an angle and see where it leads you on your crafting adventure. Thanks again. I hope to craft with you all again really soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.